Alright, so looking at this one, we've got HBrO3. I'll draw a picture of that. It'll be H and BrO3. Let's pull up the polyatomic ion sheet here. So BrO3 is a polyatomic ion. It's got Br and O in it. So I'll look over here. There it is, BrO3 minus. And the H, of course, will have a positive charge. And the name of this will be bromic acid. Now the acid comes from this part, and the BrO3 minus comes from bromate, and that's going to lead to bromic acid. So 8 goes to ic acid. Now if this was HBr, that would have been hydrobromic acid. So obviously these are two different compounds, so they need two different names. That's why we put the hydro in front of this one. We don't put a hydro in front of this one because it's not relevant to this problem. Okay, let's look at the next one, H2S acid. Draw a picture of that. It's going to be H, H, and S. S has a -2 charge. That's on the polyatomic, sorry, that's off the periodic chart. And you can see that over here, S is 2 negative. That's a total of -2. That's going to be +2. Each of these hydrogens will have a 1+ charge. The name of this, hydrosulfuric acid. Now the ions we're talking about here would be H plus and S2 minus. The H plus leads to the acid. Hydrosulfuric because sulfur is a single element anion. It's off the periodic chart, so it's going to have a hydro in front of it, and that will be to distinguish it from something like this, which is H2SO4, and that's called sulfuric acid. So obviously they're two different compounds, they need two different names, so the hydro is in front to indicate that this is a single element right here. Okay, looking at the next one, we've got Cu2O. If I draw a picture of this, it looks like this. We've got two Cus and an oxygen. The oxygen has a -2 charge. The copper, the positive charge has to be +2 on both of these coppers, so each copper is going to have a +1 charge. The two ions we're dealing with would be Cu plus and O2 minus, and that's what we're going to use for the name. So it's going to be copper and 1 oxide. And you can see that copper is one of these type 2 cations, so it's going to be important to make sure we include the charge on the copper in the name. Otherwise what's going to happen is we're not going to know if it's copper 1 or copper 2, so we have to put a copper 1 here to let us know that we're using Cu plus as the cation in this compound. The next one, HgSO4. So we'll have Hg and we'll have SO4. The SO4 is a polyatomic ion, and you can see that that is going to be sulfate, so its SO4 is 2 negative. That means we've got a -2 charge here. That means that we have to have +2 to match this, which makes the mercury have a +2 charge. And the name of this would be mercury 2 sulfate. Alright, the ions we're using, this one here and this one here, mercury 2 and sulfate. Again, mercury is one of these type 2 cations, and mercury is over here. Yeah, it's a type 2 cation, so we need to include the charge of the mercury in the name, and then we've got the sulfate here as well.